You are probably live.
Hello.
Hey, everyone. Oops. Got two pairs of glasses on.
Today we are making kisses for our 11-year-old son. Oh, wait. Is that something we're making today? No.
At least I don't think so.
All right. Today we are making lemon bars and cheeseburger rolls. Are you excited to eat dinner now?
Yes.
Out of our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1. The lemon bars are also in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Both are 25% off. The cheeseburger rolls are in our Dining on a Dime volume 1. This one right here, Dining on a Dime volume 1. Believe it or not, it is almost time to reprint volume 2.
What?
Yes, we were hoping to do that before we moved, but it looks like at this rate, probably not. So, well, I don't know. We could still get it, couldn't we, I guess?
Yep.
All right, so I have my pan here, and I have my nasty, gross grass-fed beef here that I'm trying to use up. I do not understand why people like grass-fed beef. It tastes awful. It has no fat. I mean, this doesn't have very much fat in it. So I'm trying to disguise it in different dishes. So I've put it in soup, tacos, quesadillas, burritos, enchiladas, all those. Today I'm doing cheeseburger rolls. So I have it under control. And today I'm doing cheeseburger rolls to try and hide it. I've only got, I think, like 5 more pounds of it left.
Oh, Pamela says, hey, guys, got the cookbook. It's great. Yay.
I'm so glad. So this is the meat that I'm using up from that thing that went around last year.
You mean you stockpiled before that?
I know that was when I did my big stockpile when everybody was going berserk, and we had let our freezer go down. And what?
If you guys do soap, tell them that we got our stuff.
Okay. We were moving, or we thought we were going to try and move, so I let my stockpile get back down. Well, then when that thing hit and everybody was going crazy, I decided to go ahead and rebuild my stockpile. So I did. And here's the beauty of that. I didn't have to go grocery shopping for like 9 months, not major grocery shopping. I mean, I would go pick up things for the show, or Mike has a particular yogurt he likes, so he would go get his yogurts, or something like cheese was on sale, but not like my major once a month grocery haul that I would normally do. I did not have to do that for 9 months. It was beautiful, just beautiful. So, all right, now I am going to put some oil in with this hamburger because it is just, yeah. Oops, or not. Okay, so while this hamburger is cooking up, I'm going to show you my stinking good deal I got at a garage sale this weekend. I was rather impressed. So we went to a garage sale. So we went to go pick up my grandma. She comes over here on Sundays now that she sold her house. And we went to a garage sale. And they had almost everything free. It was a cool garage sale. So I got some wrapping paper. A wrapping paper holder is what I actually wanted it for. And then I got my brother some Superman stuff because he thinks he's Superman. And it's old Superman stuff, so it's actually before Superman lost his mind. And then we got a sleeping bag, and I got a really nice water bottle. All that was free. But then I got this puppy here. This, she had, Dave, can you look up on Google, on Amazon? Look up Pyrex bakeware, and let's see how much this actually cost originally. I'm curious how much it cost originally. I forgot to look it up. So this was $20, totally brand new, never been opened. And she had $5 on it.
I don't see that specific box on here.
Well, you may not see this specific one, but is there a 3-piece one that's sort of similar to this?
Well, the first one is an 8-piece. That's $40. 6-piece is $40.
There's no 3-piece?
No 3-piece on here.
Oh,
wait. Pyrex rectangular food storage.
bakeware. Pyrex bakeware.
That's what I searched. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know. It's at least $40.
It's at least $40, Dave says, and I got it for $5. I am super, super excited because I'm getting clear baking stuff for our new channels, our new 5-ingredient recipes channel. Michael put a link in there, and my gluten-free recipes channel in there. Ooh, look at that. Okay, here's a pretty cover. Ooh, nice cardboard. I'm gonna save this cardboard. See, I'm turning into my mother, aren't I?
Yep.
Ooh,
Which channel
that's
did you say I'm
nice.
sharing?
The gluten-free and the 5-ingredient.
Wow, a number of people talking about gluten-free.
Ooh.
Ooh, because of gluten-free or because of the glass?
Because of glass. So these were like $1.50 each. Ooh. Look at that, baby.
I can't find it.
That is so nice. Hey, $1.50 for brand new Pyrex. That's a pretty stinking good deal, even if I say so myself.
I know that big one on the bottom is $20.
This big one on the bottom is $20.
Yeah.
Wow.
On Amazon, that one is for sale for $20.
Ooh.
Just that one piece. Kind of crazy, ridiculous.
Well, I did a good job and I didn't know it, huh? Okay, let me get my hamburger smushed down here. All right. We're getting there. Now, I already made up my dough for my cheeseburger rolls right here. And I'm letting it rise. All right. You raise me up. Oh, wait a minute.
Jennifer, the crowd goes wild for a deal on Pyrex. Actually, a lot of people talking about that.
So, I don't know. And apparently Pyrex was exploding in ovens or something. And this lady said that she got this before or after all of that was happening. So, anyway, I don't know. That would be me, wouldn't it? I'd get a Pyrex that explodes.
Yeah.
All right. Lemon bars. Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 365. Or if you're gluten-free, dairy-free, it's also in our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook. The link is in the description below. Now, I'm just going to absolutely blow the head off of some people with
I'm not the ones you want
with
to.
my
either.
unsanitary conditions. But guess what? I opened this Pyrex, and I'm not going to wash it.
What?
I know.
The horror.
I know. I'm not going to wash it. Can you believe it? I'm just going to wipe out the little bits of dust from the cardboard just like that. Ah! The last time I got a new
edge, woman. You're living on the edge.
The last time I got a new cooking appliance, I think it was a crock pot. I had the audacity to not wash it. Oh my word. You would think I was putting arsenic in my family's food. It was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so first things first, you're going to spray your pan. Now, I am making a half batch. Why? Because I've already made a full batch for the after, okay?
Jesse says, and the germaphobes go crazy. Well, what's funny is, I think Well, besides the fact that you're going to bake it anyway, I think just sitting there for a certain amount of time without anybody touching it would probably neutralize.
It's the chemicals from the factory.
Oh, I see.
You know, those chemicals are going to kill us. We won't mention how many chemicals save lives every day at the hospital, or how many chemicals in pharmaceuticals save lives every day.
Angel says, I thought I only did that with unboxed items without washing.
Oh my goodness. You should have seen the comments last time I did that without washing it. I thought people's heads were going to explode off their shoulders. They were so disturbed. It was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, lemon bars. For the crust, I have my powdered sugar in here. And then I am putting in my flour. Now, please remember, I am making a half batch, okay? I'm making a half batch. So I'm stirring my powdered sugar and my flour. And then I am going to take my margarine or butter, whichever you want, or shortening if you want, okay? Now we're going to get that squeezed in, and then we're just going to mix this all together and just get it all nice and crumbly and mixed together, just like so. All right. So we're going to mix this all up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to press this mixture into our brand new, unwashed, but greased Pyrex 8x8-inch glass baking dish. Say that 10 times. Oops. Oh dear. I spilled. Okay. Here we go. Getting it all mixed in there.
Ooh, is this a normal batch? A normal size batch?
No, this is a half batch.
A half batch.
Yes.
Because you didn't want to eat it?
Well, we already have a whole batch over there.
Ooh.
So I kind of figured we didn't need both. Okay. So then you're going to take and you're going to push all of this down into your dish. Now, you also want to push a little bit of a lip down into or onto the sides, okay? Because if you don't, well, why is this sticking so bad? Normally it doesn't stick quite this bad. Because if you don't, okay, I'm just going to do this. If it sticks really bad, guys, just sprinkle a titch of flour. Remember, titch is a word. We just determined that last year. All right. And get yourself a little bit of a lip in there because you want to hold your batter, okay? All right.
Do you have a moment for a question?
Sure.
Becky says she's going to make the apple oatmeal bars, but it doesn't say what type of oats. She was wondering regular or quick cooking.
Quick. I wonder which edition that is because I thought we had correct. Maybe we didn't correct that. I don't know. I need to check and see if that's in Dining One.
I will put it on there.
Okay. Pretty much with any type of baking or cooking, it's always quick oats. I mean, it's very rarely is it steel cut or old fashioned. Okay, now we're going to take our same bowl so we don't dirty another bowl. We're adding our sugar. Well, part of it. Oops, I left some in there. Oh, wait. This goes in the oven, okay? Oops, and clean off your sides so it doesn't burn really bad. All right. So that goes in the oven.
Out of Goshen is on.
Eric and Ashley, hello. Okay, then we're going to add our now it calls for 1/3 cup. So I'm putting in about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. I just guesstimated. I don't yeah. Don't worry about it, folks. All right. Then we're going to add in our baking powder. So here's something new that I never noticed in 27 years of baking right here. Look right here. Shake can before using.
What?
You can't see it. It's too low.
I have never seen that until now.
He said it was too far from the camera.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry. It's on there. Okay. Then we're going to get our eggs in and get our other egg in. And then we're going to get all this mixed together. Look at all that yummy goodness. Now, you do all this before you put the flour in so that everything kind of gets mixed in together, okay? Then you're going to add the rest of your flour. This is about 2 tablespoons of flour because it's just for the filling. Now, after your crust has baked for 20 minutes, then we're going to add this on the top of the crust, and then we're going to bake it for another 20 to 30 minutes, okay? Now, because we didn't feel like having 300 lemon bars today, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the after right now. Now, I took a sample to make sure it wasn't poisoned for my family. Isn't that thoughtful of me?
Yes.
Now, oops. Oh, I just smushed it and I didn't mean to.
Jonathan and Holly are asking if you ever use lemon zest.
No, but you can. I just never buy lemons. So if you want to, go right ahead. Now, this one is the gluten-free, dairy-free one. Look at that yummy goodness, everybody.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Do you want a corner or a middle?
Oh, I'll take a corner, please. Because you know I like the brown part.
Yum. And I forgot to tell you, if you're baking in a glass baking dish, I totally spaced it. You need to turn your heat down 25 degrees.
You should have been on camera for that one. Man, that's really good. Can I have the whole thing?
Okay, Dave. Okay, let's Dad do the testing.
It is delish. Mm. I forgot how amazingly delectable these are.
These are so good.
Out of Goshen says, yum, yum. Yes.
My aunt is moving, and she came by to pick up boxes because we have a never-ending supply of boxes. Well, you know why, because we're book publishers.
Whoops.
And she said, you should make lemon bars for the show, so you can thank Aunt Donnie.
Oh, did you tell her it was on?
And double. Okay. Now, man, that melts your mouth. Okay.
Yum, yum.
Now, let me see how my grass-fed beef is doing here. All right. We got the grass-fed beef. Now we're going to roll. Ow! Oh, my. That did get a little warm, didn't it? Now we're going to roll out our dough. All right, now.
For you or for that? Little house off grid is on.
Rob, he had to scare off intruders under his little tiny house today. Rob, you got those titles down. My goodness, you're hilarious. All right. Now, you want to punch down your dough when it's done rising the first time. Now, let's see. We've got BJ, Ellie, Jack, and Dad, and Dave. So, this will be BJ, Ellie, Jack, and Dad's portion, and this will be Dave's portion, right?
That's about right. Dave totally missed it.
I can see you're paying attention to the show. BJ, Ellie, Dad, and Jack's portion. Dave's portion.
Yes.
Do you think this should be Dave's portion?
Sorry.
If you're just joining us, like Alice, we are making lemon bars. And we made lemon bars, and now we're making cheeseburger rolls.
Yes.
And man, the lemon bars were delicious.
Okay, so why am I making a separate cheese cheeseburger roll today because we're testing dairy-free on Dave. He's been having some allergy issues, and so we're just testing dairy-free for him. So I got some dairy-free cheese, which is actually edible. And that one is going to be for Dave. And then the rest is going to be for the rest of the family. So we're getting this all stretched out. All nice and delicious. All right, here we go. We're doing good. Okay. There we go. Now, where'd my boot hair go? All right, so I'm using margarine today because butter is expensive. That's why. So for stuff like this where the taste doesn't really matter, I use margarine and spread it all on. Okay. There we go. Then we are going to take our hamburger with my homemade seasoned salt. So this is the one that I just leave on the stove all the time because I use it like 20 times a day. All right.
That's a lot of times a day. That's a lot of times a day.
I know. Okay, then we're going to put just a little bit of hamburger on here.
Wait, this is my portion?
No.
Oh.
This is the family's portion. I was just being silly.
What? How rude.
Now, guys, when you're using recipes that calls for things like cheese and hamburger, especially like in casseroles or things like cheeseburger rolls, you don't need a whole pound of hamburger. I mean, you've got way more than enough protein with the hamburger and the cheese. So a lot of people get really uptight when I tell them not to use so much cheese, but stop it. It wastes a lot of money, and frankly, you just don't really need to eat it. All right.
I don't know if you said something about dairy-free, but a lot of people are suddenly asking, what is a good brand of dairy-free cheese and how well does it melt?
Well, I will show you. Un momento, por favor. Okay, there we go. Now, good grief. Okay, so now we have my Silpat with my baking pan, but I don't have enough space on here. So we're gonna lift this up. Now, I put the seam side down, okay? So there's that. Now we're gonna roll out Dave's portion here. All right. Because Dave loves his cheeseburger rolls, doesn't he, Dad?
Yes. Out of Goshen says that's one big roll of happiness. Yes.
Oh my goodness, you guys need to go over to Out of Goshen's YouTube channel and watch their disaster that they have with their roof. I just wanted to sit and cry for them. Oh my goodness.
Actually, he just posted that it's done.
Yeah, she actually told me they got it done.
They're super excited.
But you should have seen what that machinery was doing to their yard. I just wanted to cry. Their beautiful garden. I mean, it wasn't the machinery's fault. It's just Michigan's fault. But I felt so bad for them.
He said they did enough crying for you too.
Oh my goodness. And then they got the wrong shingles. I was like, I know you're kind of just stuck with it, but I'm thinking I would be contacting small claims court or something because they spent $30,000 having to get that roof on. That's crazy. Okay, so the favorite dairy-free cheese that I like is this Daiya right here. And it does seem to melt. Oops, I forgot. Oh, I can't put butter on this one. Never mind. It does seem to melt quite nicely. So that's what I use when I want some cheese. But oh, seriously, Buster, go lay down. Oh my goodness. All right. So then we're gonna put Dave's. Here, we'll stick this one a little bit closer. And then we'll put Dave's like here. Let's do it this way. This. Jack, can you come here and help Buster for just a minute? All right. Now, we've got the big one and the little one right there. There we go. Okay, Buster's confused from my boxes here. Can you take them out of the things? All right. Now, I will say on the day, yeah, Dave, you need to come back up again.
Yeah, sorry.
I got some of their cream cheese the other day because their cheese is so good. This is not a sponsored post, but I got some of their cream cheese the other day because I was like, oh, I miss cream cheese bagels so bad. And Ellie happened to find some gluten-free bagels, and I was like, yay! Well, I tried their cream cheese, and it might be okay with like cooked in something, but I tried it on a bagel, or well, I didn't try. No, what was it? I tried it on not a bagel. Why did I say bagel? I was thinking of bagels, I guess. Oh yeah, I tried it on my fried zucchini, and it was nasty. So it might be good in baked goods, but it was absolutely nasty on my fried zucchini.
So Patricia asked if it's lactose free also, but it would be yes if it's dairy free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
lactose is only in milk products, and this is made out of soy, so it would totally be gone. Yeah. So anyway, all right. While we're waiting for our crust to finish in 5 minutes, we will start cutting soap. But do you have any questions?
Well,
by the way, guys, all these recipes, Dining on a Dime cookbook, 25% off right now. So yeah, 25% off right now. Also, Ellie for Soap Guys, goatmilkgifts.com. She has 25% off, $25 or more.
wow.
So for everybody wondering, all the clanking in the background is our 18-year-old dog that has dementia. And he kind of gets lost in the kitchen and just keeps going in circles until he finds his way out. So
Oh, gotta love him. The funny thing is, he still goes completely crazy if somebody knocks on the door. But other than that, he seems like he can't hear. So we don't have any idea how he knows.
yeah. So anyway.
Um,
All right. This is the orange chili soap. Now, I don't know why they call it chili. I don't really smell the chili. But oh my goodness, the orange
Did you put chili in
smells
it?
so good. Well, it's just the name of the fragrance.
Hmm.
You wouldn't want to put chili in it and put it on your body. That would be very bad.
Well.
Woo! Michael's awake now.
It would definitely spice up your life, wouldn't it?
Oh, I got that. Thank you, Dave. So this is the orange and chili, and it smells really good. Our friend Jonathan got a bar a year and a half ago, and I got some. And
Bumblebee's on. Hello. Bumblebee. Patricia is loving that you made soap.
yes. Well, Ellie reopened goatmilkgifts.com. She wanted to do that. So I said, all right, well, I like making the soap, but I don't like shipping the soap. So I said, well, I'll make it for you if you want to sell it. Well, she's selling so much that I can't keep up with the amount that she's selling. So we order from another small soap crafter here in the United States. And so they do part of it, and then I do part of it because it just is too much for me right now because we have a lot going on.
So earlier in the show, Carol Ann said, "Hello, everyone." No, I don't know if you recall, but she was inquiring like a few weeks ago about whether or not the gluten-free book might help her husband.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Hello, everyone. I bought the gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook just to see if it would help with his stomach issues. But we both love the recipes I've tried so far, and his stomach has calmed down for the first time in 10 years. That is awesome, Carol Ann. I'm glad it worked.
Wow, that's great.
I wasn't sure whether to say, because, I mean, it depends on if his problem is that, but I actually have found that some of the recipes in the gluten-free book, a lot of them they're all equally as good, but some of them are better than the other book. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people have stomach issues like bloating and flatulence from gluten. Well, do you want me to say they fart a lot and have diarrhea?
Oh, whoa,
Wow,
whoa.
Mom, you just demonetized
YouTube
the
is
whole
saying,
channel.
YouTube is saying, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good job.
Facebook doesn't care. Just kidding.
Just so. By the way, Mary in Ohio, I got your order and it went out today. If you're watching, thank you very much. I'm so sorry it took you a whole year to order. She didn't say what happened for that, but she got her order in and all your books are on the way. All right, GoHillGifts.com, guys. Yes. What?
No, I'll share that. I was just, for those of you, and Tara already kind of mentioned a little bit, but with Buster, he's just getting old, and so he doesn't hear very well or see very well.
He's got dementia.
And he's got dementia, so we have to be careful. Like yesterday, somehow, we don't know how, because we have a gate, like a baby gate, but somehow he got down in the basement and was walking around in circles lost down there, and Dave just happened to see him, and so...
How he got down there, I have no clue, because he's just...
Yeah, we're not sure how he got down there because every other time he's been down there, he falls down the steps. So we have a baby gate up so he doesn't go down the steps now. And nobody heard him fall. We were all here. Nobody heard him fall. So he must have just walked down somehow. But Anne, thank you very much. I got your card, just so you know. I didn't want you to think that I didn't get it.
Thank you.
So we really appreciate that. Thank you. So... all right, questions.
I didn't see any questions, I don't think. Patricia, hug Mike and Tara, tell your family hello.
Hello, Dave. Hello, Jack.
Hello.
Laura, you two and Tara's mom are truly inspirations to my family and me more than you'll ever know. Thank you for being real, blunt, and true. Aw.
Oh, somebody likes me being blunt. Wow, I had a lot this week I could have really said some things about.
Laura says she likes the flower picture. What? Oh, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Where did we get that? Was that at the...
This one I got at a thrift store.
Was that at the Guild?
Yeah, I paid $1 for it, I think. So
I think I spotted it first, but I love colors.
Yeah.
They called me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think mostly the questions we've already answered, but let's see. You already answered that one. Okay, well, let me look and see what we have here.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to pour... If you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, let us know. I'm going to pour the, what do you call this? Batter? I don't know what you call that. What do you call this? It's not is it batter? Maybe it's batter. I don't know.
Ooh,
okay, so I'm going to pour the batter into the lemon bars just like so. Okay. And then I'm going to put it back in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. So at 20 minutes, start watching, and you want it just golden on top, but you don't want it burned. And then when you're done, if the show is ended before it's over, sprinkle it with powdered sugar. Yummy goodness. Okay. Yes. So while Mike's pulling questions or comments, what kind of shows do you guys want to watch? I'm out of ideas. Well, I'm not totally out of ideas. Monday's show I'm going to do rising fruit prices.
Oh, you're talking about for the not the live shows. You're talking about the other things. Well, we can take suggestions on live shows too, I guess.
So what do you guys want me to talk about? I know what the analytics says that we should talk about. And they say that the only time filling, that's what that stuff is called. Thank you, Patricia. The analytics tells us we should just talk about prepping stuff. But my goodness, you just made a huge mess all over your computer.
Oops.
Oopsie daisy.
Oh no, we're gonna have to buy a new one. Just kidding.
Mike's computer's been pooping out on him, so he's just waiting to get a new one.
What's funny is I've managed to keep it going for 7 years.
And I've been through what, 3 in that time?
She's been through 2, but a third one that's kind of
It's almost gone.
on the fritz.
I keep my O, when I hit my O, it puts more than one O on there now. So that's why, Ashley, today when I kept texting you, if you noticed any word that had a O in it, it had more than one. Well, that's why my dumb O gets stuck now and it does more than one. So
LB, are you still stocking? Prepping prices are insane. Everything keeps going up. Have you?
We're going to talk about that on Monday's show, but yes and no. So we really want to get moved again. So I'm hovering this line between prepping and having to move it all. So because our stockpile is kind of getting down for some things a little bit, not a lot, but for some things, like I'm letting the freezer go down a little bit, and things like chocolate chips I'm out of, and cake mixes and stuff like that. So
That's because they found your stash.
So I'm having to hide food from my children now because they keep finding it and they keep using it, and it's food that I have set back and bought for recipes for our 5-ingredient recipe channel. Mike will put the link in there for you.
Okay.
And so I keep buying stuff for recipes for that, and I'll go to use it and it's disappeared. I'm like, who just ate all my chocolate chips? Because now we have 3 teenagers who cook, or adults and teenagers that cook. I mean, they're not all living here, but BJ will come over, and if he's visiting us, he'll make pancakes or whatever.
We had a couple questions about. Bertha said, I would like to show about how you fit so much in your house. You prep, you have 3 kids still at home, you run a business from home. Where do you store everything? Believe it or not, we have a lot less than most families that are smaller than ours.
So when we moved to this house, we had 6 people in our family, and we only got, I think it was a 24-foot truck. I think it was 24 foot. And we were the first house in this neighborhood. And all the houses around us had 2 to 4 people, and they were bringing in semi-trucks that were completely filled. So even though I don't believe in minimalism and I don't like being a minimalist, I mean, if you are, it's fine. Do whatever you want to do. But I don't want a house that's just bare walls, bare white walls with nothing on it. I don't like that at all. And so if you like that, I'm not saying you can't do that. But when I move, so somebody else, this goes over to LN, asked any tips on moving. When we go to move, I get rid of as much as I can. I really do. I mean, we get rid of all the furniture, including the beds. Now, to that, every bed that we've had until this house has been used. So we would get a bed for like $5 or $10. I know, a used bed. Can you believe it? And guys, just put a mattress cover on it if you're worried about cooties. Spray it with a bunch of Pine Sol to kill any germs, and then just put a mattress cover on it. That's all we ever did. What'd you get all over yourself?
I've completely gotten white stuff all over my shirt. You can tell I'm loving those lemon bars.
Oops, wait, you got it on your mouth too. And
Just like on Psych.
yeah. And so I would get rid of everything. All my couch, all my chairs, all the desks, all my table and chairs, all the recliners. The only furniture that we moved was Mike and I did buy a Sleep Number bed, which was the worst money we ever spent on a bed in our lives. Well, aside from this one, and that was the second worst money we ever spent on a bed in our lives. And that way, I only took the things that I really liked and really loved. And then I could get all new stuff at the new house at the thrift store. So for me, I can completely set up an entire household for around $250 for everything. We're talking couches, chairs, tables, beds, bed frames, dressers, everything. $200 to $250 is what I would spend to re-get everything. Well, that's not worth renting a semi to haul your stuff all over the place. So get rid of as many things as you can. Now, here's the thing though. Like if we're trying to move to Wyoming, we may have to keep a few things because Wyoming is not as a popular area as it is here in Colorado. So we may have a harder time finding furniture, but I'll be honest, when we moved to Timbuktu, Idaho, and I mean Timbuktu, it was a town of 300 that we moved to. The first town was 300 and the second town was 400. We just had people that were just getting rid of stuff and we're more than happy. Just leave it open because I'm hot. We're more than happy to give it to us. So we just got all kinds of free stuff. And then I would go to yard sales. There wasn't thrift stores where we moved in the small town, but I'd go to yard sales and then get the rest of what I need. And here's the thing. You may have to do without for a while. You may not exactly have the chairs that you want, but if you have something that you can use for a little while until you find what you want at a price that you can afford, then you do it. You know, it's ridiculous. People will move and they will go spend $10,000 in furniture at the furniture store. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason to do that. So anyway.
A lot of people are talking about things like shows or videos about moving and packing or yard sales. Please do a barbecue show. I like your take on prepping. Yeah, the main thing with prepping is I think she's just trying to say, hey, you don't have to be an apocalyptic prepper to still be prepared for things.
Well, on Friday's show, I have how much food do you actually need to prep? That's going to be Friday's show coming out. So
ooh.
I've got that. But Angela wants to know, are we moving closer to jail? No, Mom is actually probably going to move closer to us, like 100 feet from us. So we're looking for a place that either has a house and a mother-in-law suite or mother-in-law house or a guest house or something like that. That's what we're trying to find so that Mom can be closer to us. If we can't find that, then we'll just buy her a separate house, but probably in the same town as to wherever we are.
Don't worry, mother-in-law dear. We'll have a door that has a bolt on both sides. Just kidding. I knew you would appreciate that. El Gomez says, I love the money-saving rants. Yes.
Aw, thanks. Okay, maybe I'll do more. Let's see. What money-saving rant? Oh. You want me to get on a money-saving rant? These parents that pay for their kids' college. Oh, my word. Today we got, well, you expect kids to mow lawns to pay for their college?
Absolutely.
Darn tootin', yes, we do. Those kids get $50 an hour to mow lawns. It's absolutely ridiculous. They can pay for their way through college. And she's like,
or at least part of it.
the college prices are just so high right now, and you can't expect kids to do that. Yes, you can. And do you know why college prices are so high right now? Because parents are paying for the college.
That's true.
That is why. Because if the parents would say, heck no, I am not paying $100,000 of my hard-earned money to put you through college, those colleges would not be having those absolutely ridiculous prices. Absolutely ridiculous prices. Our niece went to college. They wanted, or she had to pay $1,200 a month to share a room with no bathroom. $1,200 a month to share a room. And her portion of the room was probably half of our kitchen. Absolutely ridiculous. There is no reason for colleges to be charging these prices. And if parents would stand up and say, no, we're not going to do it. But why don't parents do it? Because they're afraid. Oh, Susie and Johnny aren't going to be able to get a job if they don't have a college degree. That is a lie straight out of the pit of hell.
I knew that was coming. Well, actually,
Drives me bonkers.
it's funny, just from the standpoint of when kids don't have any investment in something, they don't have any respect for it. When I was a kid in our neighborhood, there was one kid who got all the toys that he wanted, and we would always find his bicycle out in the woods in a thunderstorm. He would sit in his bedroom. This was back in the days of records, and a lot of you might not know what records are, but they're these little discs, like giant CDs that you used to put on this spinny thing with a needle. Anyway, the records were expensive, but he would just throw them out of his upstairs window like Frisbees. And he was constantly like burning all of his toys on the grill and doing all kinds of crazy stuff because everything was given to him and nothing was required of him. And I think, when I was 16, I worked all summer at a job and then paid for a trip to go to Europe. But when I went, all the other kids on the trip were just getting drunk and passed out in the hotel. And I wanted to go do stuff because I paid for my own trip. And I realized later, wow, the reason why they're not respecting what's happened there is because they didn't have to pay. So that's been kind of something that we've built in with our kids, as at least some of it they should have to pay. And that's kind of our trip to Europe last year when we all went as a family. We didn't make them pay. But like when Ellie and I went alone, she ended up paying for some of hers. She wanted to pay for it all, but it was kind of meant to be a gift from us, just because of some high stress stuff that had happened in life, and so in the end we ended up letting her pay some of it, and then we still paid a little bit.
Some of what? I missed out on her
part of her and I going to Europe the first time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She wanted to pay it all. And I think,
yeah.
And she understands. And the reason why is because she's heard the story before about, you appreciate it more when you have something in it. And the same thing goes with college or cars or anything. Phones, like with us, we don't even pay anything for the phones for the kids. Now, Ellie wasn't going to get one, but she was getting a job. And so we were thinking, well, we don't want to encourage her to have us paying a lot for a phone. So we were thinking about getting like a super cheap phone that was only good for emergencies and handing it off to her when she left. But even that we didn't end up doing in the end because she ended up getting one for something else. So Donna, maybe your new home will be close to us. That would be awesome, Donna.
Donna? Oh, Donna. I found one yesterday, but it had no trees. And we're talking Wyoming here. I need a break from the wind. I really do. And so we found one that we were super close, Donna. We need to just go see Donna and Dan and say, hey.
Yeah.
We love Donna and Dan.
We just need to go on a road trip and visit a bunch of our friends out there.
Holiday road.
Wouldn't that make for some awesome shows?
Oh, man. Yeah, so I don't know. So I just have it out with people. It's fine if your retirement is 100% paid for and your house is 100% paid for, then you spend your money on whatever you want. I don't care. But we get these people that email us when they're 65. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got $50,000 in retirement. And I don't know how I'm going to live off of that. Well, you shouldn't have just spent $150,000, $200,000 getting your 3 kids through college. I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy. I really don't. It's your own darn tootin' fault. And if college is that great of a thing and you went and it made you get ahead and all that, they obviously didn't teach you very much there to how to use your brain.
Yeah.
You can tell what the talk of the week's been on the comments.
What about college?
Yes. Because we said in our We Have No Retirement video that
What's funny is we have more of other things than people have in their retirement. So it's
so
the point.
dumb.
The point was more or less that you don't have to do things the way everybody else is doing them to be successful. And for us, there's a whole lot more return on our investment to take that money and put it in our house or in our business. Well, the house. Well, yeah, actually the house, but the business and other things like that. So.
Well, it's like we had one lady bragging because she reached 62 and she had $140,000 in retirement. And if we would have gotten a real job, then
I had a real job for 20 years and tell me it never paid.
If we wouldn't have got a real job, we would have $140,000 in retirement like her when we get 62. Like, lady,
I hate to tell you, but
we've got more than that right now.
I was going to say, if we kind of, I hate to say it, but if our goal would be to have more than that.
Our goal is to have,
although we probably
an extra zero on that and retire. And you know what? We actually could do that because we've invested in our business and our business gives us at least a 50% return on our investment. We would have to be absolutely stupid to be investing in something like the stock market when we can invest in our business and get a 50% return on our money. Are you kidding me? People do not use their brains for this stuff. Okay, I'm done. Next, what's the next comment? Go ahead. I can take it.
Actually, I was just looking to see. Let's see. You want to look for other things while I... Oh, you should get your computer out here.
Did somebody say go into the thrift store and do a video? I did just do 3 of those. So, wait, you know what, Marlene? Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
No, it's not Marlene. It's Marie Ellen.
Oh, Marie Ellen, excuse me. I couldn't see it from here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
See ya. Did you want this?
I'm sorry, but this
sorry?
week, you can tell, we have had it with the comments. I'm like, I'm tired of people whining. What is with people whining? It's crazy. They don't want to do the work it takes to get out of debt. I don't know. So anyway, so all of you who still love me, just give me a hearts and a thumbs up and I'll know you're still here.
And if you don't, we
let the door hit you on
we
the way
don't
out.
care. So we're here for people that like to be around us. And if you're not one of them, then feel free to find someone you want to be around. Jennifer, I need a complete list of your new house needs. Then I can narrow it down and not send you a
Goodbye,
gazillion house
Rachel.
ads.
Jennifer, you just keep sending them. They have been great. And actually, the only reason I haven't called on more of them is when I've cross-referenced, they've already got an offer on them. That's the only reason. Or when I look it up, there's no internet. And the Elon Musk thing isn't available there yet. So what is that called? Starlink?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So when I looked it up, there's no either internet or they've already got an offer. The housing market has absolutely plumb lost its mind. Never seen anything like it. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, they love me.
Yes, you're reading.
Even if I tell it like it is, they love me.
Well, the right people do anyway. Amanda says, here's a comment for you. God bless you and thank you. And we love you in Nebraska.
Oh, thanks. We had thought about going to Nebraska, but I don't know. The heat and humidity. Good morning. Where does Annabelle live?
She lives in Australia and she said, good morning. She just woke up. So
Oh, she wakes up to me yelling. Sorry.
It's a nice energetic way to start your day.
I'm sorry. All right. Now, to test your lemon bars right here. Oops, nope. Okay, so see how there's some stuff left on that? Can they see that, Dave?
Yeah.
These need about 5 more minutes, okay? That's why we started calling. Actually, I think I'm going to do 10 minutes. I'm going to do 10 minutes. That's why we started calling it Come Cook With Me or Come Chat With Us, because people were coming for the recipes, and our recipes are so fast that it takes like 5 minutes to do them, and then we'd get comments. Well, I came here for the chocolate chip cookies, and it's an hour-and-a-half show. Like, yeah, because we're talking to you.
Well, and some things like the lemon bars, you're making them, and then you're baking them, and then you're making another thing and baking it, and some things take rising. And being a live show, it's not like an edit where, you make it in a 5-minute thing. And that's kind of why we're trying to rearrange kind of how we're doing things so that the people that want to actually hang out for the show can do that. And the ones that want to do other things can do that. And the ones that don't like us at all can go away.
And let the door smack them on the backside.
Stephanie says you have way more patience than I ever would have.
Oh, Stephanie, you guys have no idea. I mean, we were talking to Out of Goshen earlier, right before the show. The people have plumb lost their minds. They have plumb lost their minds. It's like, what is wrong with you people? They need to start putting Prozac in the water. It's ridiculous. But
Pat says buy an RV from your son and take your show on the road.
I thought about it. I actually thought about it.
It's funny because we had some people visit us the other day, and he said, "No, you tell them if they need an RV." That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Pam says, "Hey, y'all from Alabama. First time to catch you live. Love your videos." Thank you, Pam.
Thanks. So
I don't think I've been to Alabama. That'd be a fun
I
trip.
have not been to Alabama.
Let's see. It's on the way to Mississippi, right?
I have no
Depending on
idea.
which way you go.
I don't.
'Cause
Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, those all three kind of blur to me, so I don't know where. I'm sorry. I don't know where they're at on the map.
We have certain friends that they've been on the list to go visit in Alderman Farms in Mississippi.
Mississippi is one of them.
One of them. Yeah.
Kate says, I wish my parents had made me work and pay for stuff when I was young. We hit hard times in my late teens and I was not prepared. I won't make the same mistake when I have kids. Yeah, that's the problem with our society today is we have not had any true financial difficulties since 1930s. Because when World War II hit, then everybody started getting paid for war work. So it started coming out again. And by the 1950s, everybody was doing really good. And since 1950, 70 years, even last year, I'm sorry, that was nothing. It was absolutely ridiculous for the government to be sending out checks, supposedly for relief for all this stuff. It was absolutely absurd. That wasn't really a hard financial time. You need to have enough money saved up so that if you lose your job, you can make it several months. And if you don't, you need to go get another job until you do. And it's very few people who just truly, if they're disabled or something like that, who just truly cannot get enough money to get that kind of savings. But you have to have an emergency savings. That's the only way you're going to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Stop worrying about how you're going to pay your bills. You've got to get that emergency savings. And the problem is, for 70 years, I don't care how many recessions we have. It really hasn't been that bad. Even in the 1970s, Mom and I were talking about this, when the food prices, the gas prices just went skyrocketing. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. And the problem is people just don't want to give up eating out. They don't want to give up going to their sports things. They don't want to give up putting their kids $3,500 for football. It's ridiculous. For $3,500 for kids' school football. Are you kidding me? They don't want to give up that stuff. So really, it hasn't been that bad. And that's the problem is we haven't had any true financial difficulties for 70 years and people are just flat out spoiled.
What's funny is somebody else, I didn't get who it was, said, one person said that she really appreciated that her parents, paid for college and stuff. And it's great if you're a person who appreciates that. But I think it's a psychological thing where people don't appreciate what they don't have to pay for.
Yeah. And
actually, I have a funny story about that. But first I'll mention another person said that that I don't remember if it was his or her, but parents gave them like $100 towards a phone or something like that. We don't give them anything towards a phone, but we do give them something towards a car. And it's basically enough that if they didn't want to pay anything, it would be a super cheap car. But most of the time they've wanted to kind of kick in some and get a car that's in better shape. But for the most part, I think it's okay to give them some. It's nice to have some sort of responsibility for it. The funny story I was going to say, I think I've told this before actually, about the value of things and where people don't have to pay anything. They don't understand the value. One time years ago, we were helping Tara's brother finish his house, and they had a big recliner, and it was pretty decent recliner. But he said, I don't want to mess with getting rid of it. Just set it on the curb and put a free sign on it. So we did that. And for 3 days, it just sat there with the free sign on it. So somehow somebody got the idea to put a $5 sign on it. I think it was kind of like, oh yeah, well, that's probably worth $5. We shouldn't just be giving that away. So we put a $5 sign on it, and the next day it was gone. And that just kind of shows you that people understand the value when it's going to cost them something. And they don't understand the value when it's free. So that's why with the kids, pretty much, I mean, we pay for their basic necessities. But even like clothes, our kids have never been kids to ask for designer clothes and fancy shoes and stuff. But if they were, we would have said, here's the amount that we pay for your clothes. If you would rather take this and kick in whatever you want and buy the clothes that you want, okay. That would be okay.
Yep.
But
yeah, and that's the problem. Somebody said people don't want to work when they were getting more money on unemployment. Trump was the best president we ever had. But I did not agree when that dumb bill passed where you got paid more on unemployment than working. And I think it was Amanda said that a whole bunch of places were having to shut down because nobody wants to work. Businesses are closing down because they can't hire workers because the workers are getting more on unemployment than they are working. So why should they work? Our kids have friends that were like that, and they're like, why should we be working? We're getting $5,000 a month. A 17-year-old was getting $5,000 a month on unemployment and didn't get a job working because they got more money on unemployment than they did working at a typical teenager job like at McDonald's or Walmart or whatever. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Wow. Wow. Lizette says, my parents brought us from Cuba to escape communism. We had nothing when we got here, but it taught me to value things and how to save for a rainy day.
See,
and
Lizette knows.
Somebody else, I didn't get the note real quick, or didn't get who it was, but somebody else had mentioned that, I don't remember, she said her parents or grandparents had been through the Depression and stuff. And I think that's really interesting because I see that between our generation and some of the younger generations is that our grandparents were actually alive to tell us about their experiences in the Depression and through World War II and other times when things were hard, and really to have that impact on us. And I think a lot of people haven't shared those things with their kids now. And I think it's doing a disservice to the kids.
Well, no, they were trying to protect their kids from the hurt that it caused them.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, difficult things happen in life, but instead of trying to protect people from it, it's helpful to help them learn to be able to weather it. So, I don't know. It's funny because I remember Tara's grandfather, when it just passed away a year and a half ago, he told us, and not in a complaining sense, it was just a matter of fact that during the Depression, his mom every day would make pancakes with just flour and water.
They had mayonnaise sandwiches, which was just bread and mayonnaise.
Because they couldn't afford anything else.
Yeah. That's what they had for lunch.
And it's interesting because he didn't talk about it like, poor me, we had to live this way. It was just, this is what we had to do, so that's what we did. And I think I wish more people would share those kinds of stories with their kids now, because I think it's a blessing to us to hear directly from our grandparents who actually lived that experience. When your grandma's still here, so.
Yeah. Well, and like for us, for our kids, once they turn 18, so once they turn 16, if they want to get a cell phone, they pay for their own cell phone.
But they have
And
to have a
extra
job.
stuff that they want. Well, I mean, if they can pay for it without a job, good
Well,
for them.
yeah,
but,
technically our rule has been we have to see that they have the ability to pay for it.
yeah.
So they don't sign up for it and then it
But
comes to
like,
us.
if they have $1,000 saved up or something, they can pay a year in advance or whatever, go for it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is when they turn 18, are you ready, Dave?
Yeah, I know. My car insurance will be my responsibility.
And then you're paying all your expenses. Yep. We'll give you the rent. So what we do, not yet. So what we do is we make them pay all their expenses. So we make them pay all their clothes, their car insurance, their car maintenance, their phone, anything like that. We will still cover their medical and their rent when they're 18. And then when they're 20, if they haven't left yet, then they start paying rent. And most of them have left BJ left when he was 20, but Ellie is still here, but that's kind of an extenuating circumstance because we told her to stay because Buster's been on his way to the great puppy dog house in the sky for 2 years and he keeps hanging on. So we told her to stay until he goes if you want, but she has plans to move in June no matter what. So that's what we're going to do.
Well, it's funny because we thought he was acting like he was on the way out 2 months ago. And then suddenly he just perked up again. And even though he doesn't see very well and doesn't hear very well and gets lost in the yard when he goes outside, he's still just perking along. So
hello, my daily side.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Hello. All right, let's see. What if they are going to college full time? What was that question?
Yeah, we're not doing college.
So if they go to college full time, then they pay for all their expenses and we will let them stay at home and we will give them rent and food, but they pay all of their expenses. There's no reason why kids going to college can't pay for all their clothes and their car insurance and cars and all of that. They can pay for all that. There's no reason for them to not do that. You still expect them to work full time? Yeah. There's no reason why they can't go to college and work full time or at least part time. But if they stay at home, part time is more than enough to cover their expenses. And if they've got scholarships and grants to go to college, then they don't need to worry about that. So,
well, and there are plenty of alternatives like this.
Yeah, that we don't coddle our kids. And you know what's funny? Every single teacher that our kids have been at school, they've said, your kids are always so nice. Your kids are always so well behaved. Yeah, because we don't spoil them.
Oh, Eileen. Hi, guys. Half midnight now in Ireland. So great to see you all doing live. Hello, Jill. Hope you're doing well. Wow, it's awesome to have you on. But wow, we appreciate you being up this late.
Yeah.
Man, I've been missing Ireland a lot lately. So.
Yeah. I mean, we don't coddle our kids. I'm sorry. If they're in college, they can start forking over for their own stuff. Here's the thing. Just up until the 1980s, mid to late 70s to the 80s is when parents started paying for kids' colleges. Before that, well, probably the 60s. Before that, kids paid for their own college. And you want to know what? They weren't partying as much because they actually had to go to school and they had to do their schoolwork and they had to pay their own expenses. And they worked their buns off to make it through college. And so, I think kids, especially college kids now, they're just plain spoiled. So
Amanda says, I always tell people I'm raising future adults, not raising children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, we've got nothing but a bunch of adults that are children now. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Look at all of this going on with all this protesting and that kind of stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's nothing but a bunch of kids.
There's the lemon bars, by the way.
All right. Wow, I really got on a rampage today, didn't I? I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
Yeah, El Gomez, it's funny because I heard the same thing. She said, I got a scholarship, and they said no one else had applied. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really sad. Marilyn says coddled kids equals brats. That's exactly what we have. And look at all these kids in these protests and stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. Why would you go and burn down your own neighborhood? That's absolutely ridiculous. It's just nothing but a bunch of spoiled kids. So anyway, yeah, I could get going, but I've been holding back, believe it or not.
Wow. Oh, actually, it's funny because we've also had people talk about not being able to make it when you're in college, if somebody else isn't paying. But we both worked while we were in college. Or not? No, I was in college.
Well, I went to trade school, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
And I was working, even though I was sick, I went to school and was working and went to trade school.
And I'm not saying it was easy or fun, but it does really make you, makes you ask the questions like, why am I doing this? How's this? And I guess I should have asked that a little more when I was doing it, but because even though I did do 20 years in a regular job, it never really paid what it should have.
Yeah.
Especially after going through 4 years of, prepping like that. So.
Well, okay. Did I say protesting? I should have said the kind of protesting in the 2020s that they're doing now. I mean, this rioting is absolutely ridiculous. So, it's, yeah. Lizette.
Jay Ramsey, love from South Arkansas. Please don't ever change.
Oh, guess what I found on the Arkansas border? The perfect house. Absolutely perfect. So we had somebody come over and get boxes. And it was kind of funny because I just put it on Facebook and it was actually a friend of my cousin's. And she said, "Oh, are you so-and-so's cousin?" I was like, "Yeah." So apparently she knew me. But her husband came over and was talking to Mike, and they're moving.
No, you can go. It's
to
I just clicked away.
Oklahoma. And he was telling us the good deals he got in Oklahoma. So I went and looked. Oh my goodness. I found the absolute perfect house there. We could have paid cash for it. It had a mother-in-law house. It had a really nice house. It had an outbuilding. It had 10 acres. It was out in the country with no neighbors. But it was in Oklahoma.
And the funny thing about that is, I think it looked really nice, but the reason why, because somebody else asked about Texas as well, and
if it just wasn't for June, July, August, and September,
the issue
it would be
in
great.
Both of those places is just the heat and humidity for Tara. Like I grew up in Texas, and after we got married here, we moved back down there for 6 months, but Tara was sick the entire time. Like all 6 months, she was continuously sick, and I realized at that time, wow, we have to do something different.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of been our issue where we'd really like to.
Yeah. So let me tell you something, Stacy. Those people that were rioting at the Capitol were not Trump supporters. Trump supporters would not do that. Let me just tell you that right now. We have more class than that. All right. I'm sorry, but I ain't putting up with that stuff on my channel. That was not promoted by Trump supporters, and Trump did not invoke, or whatever you want to call it, rioting at all. He specifically said peacefully protest. That is totally different, and that is not what Trump supporters do, because we have more brains than that. Thank you very much.
This T says, get the Oklahoma house and buy a summer cabin.
Well, actually, we would have had enough money to do that, and we had talked about it. We actually had talked about doing that. We were talking about getting a cabin here in Colorado. Well, I guess you like hiking in the mountains. Never mind. I was going to say we could do something like North Michigan or something, but that wouldn't be hiking. See, part of this is Mike wants to keep hiking in the mountains. I don't know why. It's just a bunch of rocks.
Mother.
I'm just messing with you, Dave. All right. Yeah, I'm clearing the air.
Yeah.
I'm just clearing the air. And you know what's so hilarious? Go back over here for just 1 sec. We have 544 people who are still
See
with
ya,
us.
Tabitha.
So they must like us. I'm sorry,
Oh, I know.
but there's no
Yeah, it's
reason
like, see ya.
for people to back down. I have no reason to back down. Absolutely none. I am not afraid of these people, and I'm not going to be afraid of these people. And, people go around saying, oh, you can't get everybody all upset. Well, I'm sorry. I am nice and I am polite. And yes, I'm very enthusiastic, but I'm not being rude. I'm not calling names. I'm not being insensitive, but people are so sensitive now. I'm going to start selling laxatives so you people can free your colons from its bondage.
Well,
it's like, take a chill pill.
Well, it's funny.
Have a good poop.
Well, it's also funny that if you say something,
You can't say anything.
and people, like, if you're a person who people say something and it just makes your head blow off of your body with anger and rage, and
Got issues.
you need to see a therapist, because that's really, even though the culture is kind of pandering to that right now, it's really not normal for people to do that. So I just think,
I find it interesting that everybody can get on to Trump supporters, but if a Trump supporter says something, you're being insensitive. That's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway.
colonoscopies for everyone.
Thank you, Barbara. Exactly. Colon.
Actually, that's another thing. Karen says it's your channel. You get to say what you want. That's another thing I think is funny about that is a lot of people really just want to get in there and constantly make comments basically saying, you can't say that. Like, this is our channel. And you can, and what I don't understand is if somebody doesn't like what we're saying, why are you here? Because we're totally fine with everyone who's, being reasonable. So.
Yeah. I don't know. You could power the planet on the childish rage. Exactly. I know. That's just what it is. But you know what it boils all back to? Is for the last 30 to 40 years, all these people have been spoiled kids. And so they think that they deserve everything. They think that they should get everything. So
Elizabeth, she just arrived when you were talking about other things earlier. She says we've gone full circle with the bowel discussions. Well, thank you for hanging in there, Elizabeth. Oh, Sandalphone 9 did a $20 super sticker. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Oops, I think our director said we're overtime.
Steven says it's the entitlement era. That's really what it is. It's all entitlement. It's you're entitled to your opinion and you can't be offended by anyone else's opinion. It's ridiculous, and I'm entitled to my opinion, but let's have a discussion, but the discussion is one-sided. Yeah, I don't think so. It's, see, look at all the hearts I got.
Yep.
See, does it make you feel better that I'm not the only one?
Oh, you guys saw the super chat, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Denise says super chat money is now going to buy laxatives.
And Monique says, welcome to Colon Chat. But seriously, I'm going to start buying laxatives and selling them on my website so people can free their colons from its bondage, because it is absolutely ridiculous. And that's another thing. I'm just on a rampage today. But stop taking everything so personally. Really, stop taking it so personally. It's like, okay, so what? I don't know what offense you would have this week, but so what? Does it really matter? Really, does it matter? Is it going to affect your life? If it's with your immediate family or something, okay, maybe. But if it's your neighbors or a YouTube comment or Facebook comment,
well, it's funny
hit
because
delete and move on.
People are upset because people might not like me. But you know what? There are people that violently hate us, and I don't care. I don't care about them at all. So like,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking, it's kind of a mindset. I guess this might be something we learned from our grandparents too, but
I don't know. But yeah, it's just goodbye, Amy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just gotten ridiculously out of control. And there's no reason for it. I mean, that's what's so dumb about the whole thing. And I know Rob at Little House Off Grid and Out of Goshen, we all talk about this all the time. But just the comments, it's like, what is wrong with people? I don't know what's wrong with people. Oh my, this is heavy. So,
wow, I got a big chunk.
Anyway, do we still have debate teams in school, or they hate speech? I know. But that's another thing. Man, I'm just hitting it all today. But the schools are teaching this stuff, and parents are not standing up saying, no, this is not okay. Mike and I have had to go to every single school since our kids have been in school about something. And the last one was a major issue. And we were like, you're not teaching that to our children in school. It is flat out lies. And we are not going to be teaching our kids that there's 67 genders. You either have a male part or a female part. That's it. That is science. That is real science. And you're not teaching 67 other genders to my kids at school. And you know what? Out of all the people that we know in our circle that are Christians and non-Christians that we talk to about this, guess who were the only people at the same school who complained? We were the only ones.
Well, and the funny thing about that is we're not saying that those people can't do whatever they want in their own lives. We're just saying.
But that's not science.
Yeah. And so.
That's totally different. That is not science. So to call that science is a lie.
Yep.
And what's wrong is the parents are allowing it in the schools and allowing it in the colleges, and they're not standing up for what is right and saying, no, we're not going to put up with this. If enough parents would stand up and go against it, the schools wouldn't be teaching this baloney. So anyway, well, yeah, that's why we're homeschooling now. But anyway, so yeah. So anyway.
Laura, I wish we were neighbors.
Out of Goshen. Their rhetoric is not based on science, and they know it. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I don't care if it's actually based on science. They're done. Are you excited?
We're waiting until dinner.
But they're just, hold on, I just took it out of the oven, so it'll burn your mouth. If it's based on science, that's one thing. If it's just based on what we want people in the world to think is the truth, that's not okay. So, anyway, yeah. So, yeah, Jack probably, I don't know. I have a feeling Jack's probably not going to end up going to regular high school. My nerves can't handle it. But anyway, yeah. Thank you, Out of Goshen. So my neighbors are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours, it's just the dogs barking for us. We listened to hours on end this weekend of dogs barking. My goodness, we probably had a good 15 to 20 hours of dog barking between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was getting on our nerves. But we can hear it now. So, all right,
You
guys.
should go eat some cheeseburger rolls.
I'm on a roll. I think I should keep going.
You just keep rolling.
So you just keep rolling so we know who to.
livingonadime.com. 25% off right now, guys. All of our cookbooks. Go ahead and send all the hate mail you want. I have people hired to delete it, so I won't even see it. So it's perfectly fine. Livingonadime.com. Check out Friday's post on how much food should you be stockpiling for an emergency. I'm talking about that on Friday. And then Monday, I am talking about rising food prices. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll see you guys later.
Have a good night
Bye.
or morning if you're down under.